Hope you all enjoying this high quality cinematography here. Seeing a high quality cinematography YouTube channels. Wow. So Louis Rossmann, who I've said many times, I'm a big fan of his YouTube channel, posted one of his, some of his videos are really well produced, and some of them are just kind of slightly produced, but they're done through a very good quality, camera and microphone while he sits back in his easy chair with the cat on one side and talks about commentary, whatever he's going to do, and then he also superimposes sorry to end that so abruptly, but I realized on the other side of the gate was Keontae, who is the maintenance driver that I generally work with if he's there until he gets off at 3:30, and certainly I get a lot more work done when him and I can work together as a team versus if I'm having to work alone. So kind of had to cut myself off and catch up with him, which was great. He gave me a ride over the break room. I was able to pop in and talk to one of Rob's half-sisters about how and why I didn't clock in on Thursday, to make sure that gets handled, to make sure that my next payment is what it's supposed to be, and yeah, so that was a good thing. So as I was saying, every now and then, and I love Louis Rossmann for this, every now and then, even though most of his videos are quite well produced and will use multiple camera angles and insets from with images and stuff, every now and then he does release just a straight up smartphone unedited video onto his YouTube channel, which is amazing that somebody with like so many followers will still sometimes do that. And he did this one short video which was hysterical, sort of a comment on the difference between culture in New York City, where he's from, because he's a native New Yorker. I mean, his channel existed with him in New York City. I mean, he did some of the best electric bike ride-along videos ever made of New York City and of Manhattan. That was his channel for many, many years, before a little over a year ago he relocated to Texas. And prior to that, he was looking to leave New York City because the New York City government was just making it so difficult for him to run his business, and New York landlords were charging just outrageous amounts for rent in return for what tenants were getting for the rent. Wow, I wish I had a camera and could show it. I just looked off to the right, and they're actively working in the City of Phoenix sign yard, assembling new styles of traffic light poles, and they have some up and actually functioning in there with some different street sign styles. That's fascinating. God, I wish I could actually pull over and check that stuff out. Anyway, back to Louis Rossmann's video. So the video was about just the culture difference between New York City, where everything's just got to be bolted down and people steal stuff, and there's this whole system of mistrust, and it's well documented that so many people just jump the fare and don't pay the fare to get on the subways down there. And showing in contrast how there's a culture of trust in Texas, and how he was going to a park there, and there was an admission for the park, but there's nobody there to take the money or give a ticket or anything. There's just a box with a slot for you to stick your cash in, and a list of like what people are supposed to pay to go in. And him just observing as a New Yorker just how different that was for him. I gotta say, I found the video thoroughly amusing, but where I was going on this is that since it was shot with a smartphone, and since it was completely edited, towards the end of the video, you get a hell of a close-up of Louis Rossmann's crotch. Yeah, I'm never going to be able to unsee that. So, thank you. Thank you for that, Louis. Also, he's apparently on a date, and his female companion was pretty amusing in her reason for why I think she decided not to pay her admission. But you know what? I can't blame her. There's nobody there to make change for her. So what you gonna do? I wouldn't pay $20 for something that's $5 either. It kind of is what it is when you're working on honor systems like that. Anyway, enjoyed the video, Lewis. Thank you. I'm on the road. I guess I should give the date and the time. That would help put things into perspective. It's 4:10 p.m. It is still October 2nd, 2023. And I'm hitting a little more traffic this way than I anticipated. That little Mercedes convertible on the right is really similar to the last car I just got done driving. I'm not gonna lie, part of what keeps me over at hers is that I really do enjoy, thank you, guy in a Peterbilt actually recognized that I had a turn signal on and left enough space for me to change lanes. I wish more drivers drove like that instead of just crowding as close as they possibly can and thinking it's somehow a sign of weakness if they let anybody change lanes. You know, if absolutely nobody ever passed on the right, that would certainly help the situation. But of course, the guy in the Equinox didn't see my right blinker on. He was way too busy passing me on the right, trying to get right behind the vehicle in front of him. And as you can maybe see, the Peterbilt is now past me. So see, it didn't cause him to lose anything by being nice and yielding and letting me come over. Yeah, I was debating between whether I wanted to do this or whether I wanted to take the 202 and go north on 32nd Street. And I thought this would be quicker. It's possible I thought wrong, although it looks like it's starting to ease up. I do have traffic coming in, merging from the right, from the McDowell on-ramp. And even though it might be infuriating the people behind me, in moments like this, I always like to leave a nice, decent following distance so I can watch closely if anybody on the left lane is trying to merge to the right, and to make it possible for the people coming in from the on-ramp to get on. How much time are you saving by tailgating? Generally speaking, absolutely none, but if you end up causing an accident, and tailgating is the leading cause of accidents, then you're going to show up where you're going a whole lot later. And of course, that guy that was in front of me this whole time, apparently he's been trying to get out of this exit-only lane. Yeah, people driving and leaving a little space would just make it more functional for everybody. But you know, if everybody did that, there'd be that one asshole weaving in and out of that space. There's always that one asshole. So as I was saying, I'm taking my lunch early right now, and it's going to be a bit of an extended lunch, but that's fine. I have a couple of 10-minute breaks that most of the time I don't even use. So conceivably up to 50 minutes of allotted break time. I'm taking care of my storage rental. That's important. Talk to my direct supervisor that I was told to talk to by Rob's half-sister, who said she would make sure that the time clock discrepancy got handled and that I got the paycheck I'm supposed to get coming up. All right, we got 2 lanes here, but everybody's crowding into the right one. Even though that right lane is going to be obstructed by the bus. And I think the guy behind me was tooting at me because he didn't like the fact that I went past him in the lane that was open that he could have just as easily gone into. I don't understand why more drivers don't analytically think about their maneuvers when they're driving in traffic. Meanwhile, on the right, the guy on a bicycle trying to ride through a church lawn. That's peculiar. All these guys that think they're getting ahead in the right lane probably aren't. But boy, are there people eager to pass on the right. Now, if they're trying to turn right up ahead, that makes sense. So what was I saying? Oh, I'm trying to take care of my storage rental. So I'm headed to the ATM because I do have an ATM. Unlike a video I recently edited, I was having quite the time handling my storage rental because I had to drive to the bank and go into the bank to withdraw cash. This was my ATM card. I do have my ATM card right now. I have all of them. It's not a problem. So yeah, I'm going to be able to use the ATM because there's not an actual branch there, but there is an ATM at 32nd Street and Thomas. So I'll be able to use that ATM, withdraw the cash. My insurance company's not there in that office anymore. I really need to figure out where they're at. I'm really getting down to the wire on my car insurance. There's a vacant lot on the right that didn't used to be there. I wonder if I can remember what it was. Yeah, I'm going up to the ATM, 32nd Street in Thomas, which is coming up on the left. It's right in front of the, I was going to say it's between the Subway and the Little Caesars Pizza, but the Subway's been closed for at least a year, maybe more now. But I'm sure the Little Caesars is still there doing a hell of a business. And it's on the side of the Harbor Freight Tools. I figure the easiest way for me to get in there. At some point I gotta turn left against heavy rush hour Strode traffic. You know, even though a lot of parking lot between me and there, I'm thinking now might be my chance to do it, make that less safely. So I've just set myself up for a whole lot of parking lot driving. Oh look, there's a security guard. Wonder if he's as psychotic and aggressive as the one I had to deal with. So yeah, I'm going there. It's like quite a scene with a homeless woman on the right. I'm going to get my ATM withdrawal. Then I'll head over to the PLS a little bit further down Thomas to get my money order. Hopefully it's not too busy, but I would imagine this is not a good time to try to get a money order there. I really should have done this. It's another thing I could have done in the middle of the night last night while I was having trouble going to sleep. It just didn't occur to me at that time. And to be fair, I could have handled paying my storage rent all week long. I've had the money and I've known where I was sitting at money-wise, and it was something I needed to handle. Yeah, I gotta get that money order and then get it over to Bevan. Now here's the ATM. So this is big news.
Down at the end of this year, he is not going to run for a third term as Maricopa County Sheriff.
Very bummed about that.
After this
really like Sheriff
left. He's going to step down in January. And then the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors are going to put in a replacement for a year. We'll see how that goes. But we wanted to ask you, maybe he wants to run for governor. It's always, been in a lot of people's minds. He's a leader. Whether you like his politics
Penzone would make a great
he's not
governor.
really political, but he brought integrity back to the office. That was an office where Joe Arpaio cost us how much money? Steadied the ship, Gatos, $273 million. So we said, you know what? Let's get some Republicans, Democrats, and independents on. Give you a hypothetical question. Election were held today in Arizona. Who are you voting for governor? Hobbs or Penzone, and why? Thought that'd be interesting.
All right, Frederick and Goodyear, you're Republican. So, Hobbs, right up there. You got Penzone. Who you voting for and why?
Penzone. I think you guys nailed it on the head when you stated that he kept politics out of it. His focus was the people of this county and this great state of Arizona, and he believed in what he was doing, and he proved it. He's done really well.
Yep.
All right, cool. Right on.
Cool.
So
All right, that's a Republican, correct?
Republican. Let's go with Lori and Levine, Democrat. Who you voting for, Hobbs or Penzone, and why?
Probably Penzone.
And why?
Because he does show a lot of integrity, and seems like he knows what he's doing.
Okay. All right, there we go. So we got two Penzones. Let's go with Nick and Mesa. Nick, are you an independent, Republican, Democrat?
Republican.
And who would you choose?
I got to go with Penzone. I do like Hobbs' fight at the border, but the integrity of Benzone, like what was mentioned, I think that that could go far, and I think he has a little bit more fight.
Yeah,
Personally.
appreciate that. You know what I've heard? Integrity. Integrity.
Yeah, I mean, that's the word I used. He did. He brought integrity back to the office. So let's talk about it for a second.
Well, hey, at least y'all get to listen to some of that news. There's a trick to getting the radio to stay on, where I can leave the key out, basically up in the window.
If it's right or wrong. Could I see him run for governor one day? I could. Because I know that a lot of people with big pockets have already asked him to do it. Okay?
Take the key out through the window, shut off the car, and then it puts the radio on the timer.
He'd have to go much more into politics and what he believes and what he'd like to see for Arizona. So I think that'd be a little
It's an interesting topic.
He'd have to show his politics. He doesn't really show them as Maricopa County Sheriff.
No. Here's something, though. This is something he said earlier today, as again, he announced that he's not going to seek a third, he's going to step down earlier.
So I'll do something that'll be pretty significant. I'll be excited about it. My family will embrace it, and we'll continue to lead by example.
Okay. See, my gut was telling me that maybe he's exhausted from the job and maybe he is, and he needs time off, and he is going to reload. You know, he's gonna stop for a year or so, try and figure out what he wants to do.
I missed that Circle K on the right there.
That.
It's been closed for many years.
I don't know. Maybe he already has aspirations for something else.
Well, if it is about next year running for something, you've got to be ready ASAP. Because you've got to raise the money, then you have to get out there.
There's a City of Phoenix notice in front of it, so apparently somebody's applying to do something with it.
Because the governor's race isn't, I mean, you've got years.
That's years.
Probably an application for a liquor license.
Next year. Because I do find it weird that he's stepping down now, because he would have a year to do the sheriff thing without being a lame duck. He's not the political side of stuff, and he can maybe get some stuff done next year.
What job would he want?
That's, why
I don't think he wants to be a senator.
Just because he's stepping down in January doesn't preclude him from announcing running for something else before then, right?
No.
Like, he could announce next month, because there are still people we think are going to get in the Senate race that haven't yet. He could do something comparable.
I don't think he's going to run for Senate.
I hear, you know what, though? You say you don't think he's going to run for Senate. Man, that stuff gets dangled out there. Those guys come to you, and we got all the money in the world. We know how this thing
A woman
is set up.
walking, carrying a bunch of stuff looks really cute.
It doesn't fit him because he doesn't want to be a political guy, and you become a senator and you're immediately political.
You become a congressperson, you're political.
Every time I see somebody walking like that, carrying stuff, I get homeless person vibes. I could be wrong.
What did Michael Jordan say? Even Republicans buy tennis shoes. It's the same thing. Everybody loves Oprah, except until she stole everybody's land in Maui. But besides that, the minute, if she announced today that she was going to run as a Democrat, half of America that loved her would hate her. So you're going to step into that situation. But I think the timing is odd to step away at this moment in time with not having another thing to do next year, because here's the other thing. You strike while the iron's hot, and name recognition's big. And if you disappear for 2 or 3 years and really don't do a lot, man, that you fade away.
Just, can you see him in Congress with a suit and tie on?
He wouldn't fade away from me, but
with a bunch of people that he doesn't really want.
I know he's right about that.
I just don't see.
I think that's what Congress needs, though. And sometimes people, like with integrity, stand up and go, this is what it needs. You're right, Jeff.
The average person this day has the attention span and memory of a goldfish. And
all right, thanks for all the calls.
Arizona's become so transient with people just moving here and moving away and moving here and moving away that if he were to run in 2 years or 4 years, people that be here in 2 or 4 years aren't going to remember what a great sheriff he's been for the last 6.
That's next.
Strong values and strong opinions. The Mike Broomhead Show. Voting is a right, but it also has to be verified. Having to show an ID doesn't slow down the process, and it doesn't disenfranchise voters. Period.
I think 38th Street is the one that has PLS on it. Always seems to work out a little bit better to take these back roads like this than it does to try to fight rush hour traffic on Thomas and then try to deal with making a left to get into PLS. And it's funny that more people don't drive logically like this. They just follow the herd on the strode. All right, we got people parked on the sidewalk on the right. That's real helpful for pedestrians. Oh yeah. Yeah, POS is busy as fuck.
They break it down for you, and it's gross. It's gross. Then they bring Connecticut to you.
Ooh, but there's a good parking spot available. That's a plus.
You'll taste the difference. You'll also, when you put it in your hand, you'll feel the difference. It's called clean water. Arizona doesn't have it.
That's exactly right, Jim. As we near
Okay, it was really busy in there. Even with the short line just for money orders, it didn't really speed me up any.
And it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Of course, now I'm having trouble getting out of the parking spot. In the parking lot.
Choose a quick, painless, refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now. Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience.
A really cool vintage Beamer
even if that's recommended
in the front of the building here. For some reason I walked to it as if my car was there. I somehow got a little disoriented. So it's 4:44 p.m. Yeah, this is taking substantially longer than I estimated it would. And I really should have done this last night. That's what I really should have done. When I realized I wasn't able to get to sleep as quickly as I was trying to get to sleep.
I will not be pursuing a third term.
And Maricopa County Sheriff Paul Penzone is also
Yeah, we've already heard this news.
January. Penzone touted shutting down Penn City for the homeless, improving community relations, and
You know, that's one of the few things that Paul Penzone did that I really didn't support. I honestly felt Tent City was a good thing. And I'm saying this as a former resident of Tent City.
The resolution keeps the federal government spending at current levels for another 45 days. The first witness took the stand in the $250 million civil fraud trial against former President Donald Trump. Donald Bender once accounted for the Trump organization, but he said he only followed orders from his superiors. The New York Attorney General accuses
What a shit show this is.
adult sons of misrepresenting the former president's net worth. We're never more than 15 minutes away from today's...
There's a motorcycle parked up on the sidewalk in the corner to the left.
Back to the freeways and roadways we go with Detour.
Okay, this I need to hear.
From the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center.
And pulling wrecks off just about every one of them, too. We got about 5 different freeway crashes to tend to, starting with the newest in the East Valley. Southbound 101 Pima Freeway at Chaparral, HOV lane, locked on a collision there. That is obviously going to be a stay right restriction in order to get by. And I do see a backup developing all the way back to V&A Ventura, getting to that crash near Chaparral. Southbound, make that eastbound 202 South Mountain Freeway at 17th Avenue. That is where the right lane is partially restricted from a collision. Westbound I-10 at Bullard, wreck off right. I-10 eastbound near 27th Avenue, wreck off right. And the 101 westbound near 35th Avenue, right lane block. It is now actually getting pushed off to the right, so all lanes are coming back, but expect slowing back from 7th Street because of it.
Any of that would impact me, I missed it. Some of the building on the left looks like it's getting ready to be demolished. It's got a construction fence around it, and some of the entrances boarded up.
4 points today, S&P 500.
Alright, sports, I could give a damn about that. Oh man, I'm sure I'm going to be all right at work. I'm not too worried about it. I mean, if they have to adjust my hours, they have to adjust my hours. I don't have a problem with that. And I know they know I'll be back there as quick as I can. This is just something I have to handle. Now, I'm getting a little concerned I'm going to not make it there before Evan closes, and sometimes she's not so good at keeping her schedule. In fact, on that note, I should probably try and call her right now.